Good morning, everyone. Absolutely brilliant to see such a great turnout. Really delighted that you have been able to join us today. Because what we are doing here fundamentally matters. Climate breakdown, we know, has begun. So Pope Francis was quoted recently as saying, if we took the planet's temperature, it would tell us the Earth has a fever. It is sick. Now, later today, we will hear from Zemo Partnership's founder director, Professor Sir Jim Skee, who is now chair of the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change. Now, IPCC analysis makes clear that far steeper emissions reductions will be required if we are to avoid a future dominated by catastrophic heat waves, floods, droughts, and tropical cyclones. The world needs to step up its efforts. And transport is one of the hardest sectors to decarbonise. And of course, it is the biggest polluting sector of the UK economy. Since 2010, transport-related global greenhouse gas emissions have increased faster than any other end-use sector. So, we know that the UK historically has a strong track record on climate leadership. However, we are not on track to meet our 2030 target of a 68% reduction in emissions. And the Climate Change Committee was highly critical of the previous government's inconsistent messaging on net zero. Because the phase we need to be in right now is one of massive scale-up, delivery, and investment. Now, it feels like tectonic plates are shifting. This week saw the closure of the last coal-fired power station in the UK, symbolising the end of an era. And the new government is pressing ahead with plans to deliver a zero carbon clean energy system by the end of this decade, by 2030. And 2/3 of the public support the shift away from fossil fuels to renewable energy sources. Foreign Secretary David Lammy has committed to leading a global clean power alliance because, in his words, climate change is a bigger threat than terrorism or Putin. And challenges to the public finances notwithstanding, we can expect an ambitious industrial strategy later this month with a clear focus on decarbonisation. In Chancellor Rachel Reeves' words, growth is the challenge, investment is the solution. Zemo Partnership stands ready to support the new government. For more than 2 decades, we have been at the heart of decarbonising road transport in the UK, which accounts for more than 90% of domestic transport emissions. The industrial strategy must be seized as an opportunity to maximise the benefits of the transition to net zero transport for the UK economy. It's estimated that globally, the transition could be worth $1 trillion to UK businesses in this decade alone. So Zemo uniquely brings together industry, government, and experts. Our membership includes all forms of road transport and all fuels and technologies. We build consensus across the sector and are unbiased by any interest group. Now, at this crucial stage in the net zero transition, we believe what is needed is a delivery roadmap for net zero transport, which we are working on in discussion with our members through our working groups and other forums. Our members' experience will be central to informing this work. And we have created the convened, the Independent Council for Net Zero Transport chaired by Lord Deben, which provides strategic oversight. We are especially grateful to Lord Deben for the generous contribution of his time, as he also now chairs the Strategic Advisory Group, which comprises the UK's major trade bodies. So today's summit is a key milestone on our journey to a delivery roadmap. The final report will be published in December. Last month, we published a briefing which set out the key principles for delivering net zero transport. A stable policy environment is absolutely essential. And we need a clearer policy trajectory for the decarbonisation of road freight. Urgent attention is needed on providing a net zero development roadmap for the coach sector. And we need greater policy and funding certainty to build on the early momentum achieved in the uptake of zero-emission buses, which has been a major success story for the UK. Zemo has a long track record of driving progress through collaboration and through its bus and coach working group. We stand ready to assist the government in taking things to the next stage. We need a step change in the efficiency of passenger and freight movement. A key theme in discussion with our members is how we can move the discussion on from vehicles and vehicles and ownership to journeys and usership. The new government's focus on public transport and active travel is much to be welcomed, but we need to go much further if we are to create the conditions for modal switch. The time has come for an honest national public conversation about the role of pricing in encouraging greener travel. Such a dialogue will become increasingly urgent as the fleet electrifies and receipts from fuel duty disappear. If we do nothing about the existing cost structures, we are baking in rising traffic growth and congestion. And we need a multi-path approach to technologies. It will take decades for the existing fleet to become electrified. So sustainable low-carbon renewable fuels have a critically important role to play in decarbonising the existing ICE fleet. And Zemo is well placed to take forward this discussion, having created the International Renewable Fuels Assurance Scheme. We need to apply solutions across the whole economy. We need a whole systems approach to net zero, which reflects the shift to digital connectivity and the integration of transport with energy, green finance, planning, and all the trip-generating sectors of the economy, such as employment, education, and health. The integration of transport and energy is particularly critical, and the Electric Vehicle Energy Task Force should be revived. We need to deliver at national, regional, and local level. Zemo has huge expertise and experience in developing the knowledge base and tools necessary for a coordinated transition. Our work with the Welsh Government on decarbonising commercial vehicles in Wales is an example of the kind of collaboration that will really accelerate the delivery of net zero. And we must ensure a fair and just transition. Too many people are being left behind. The high upfront costs of purchasing an electric vehicle puts it out of reach for most consumers. And poor access to reliable public charging is another key barrier. And as the transition to clean energy and technologies gathers pace, care and attention must be given to retraining and supporting people working in legacy industries, fossil fuel industries. It's time for a national public conversation on net zero. There is currently a disconnect between the public's concern about climate change, which is consistently high, and an understanding and acceptance of the changes we all need to make in our own lives. Working with our members, Zemo has an important role to play in improving communications for the public and in helping consumers to make better informed decisions. We must take the public with us on this vital and historic journey. It is no exaggeration to say that the decisions we make in this decade will affect the future of this planet for hundreds, if not thousands, of years. We must build a compelling vision of the future we want. Thank you.